Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, thanks. And we will have questions at the very end, a questions section. We will pause after the first couple of slides for you guys to do an activity, and then we'll continue on through the presentation, and then we will have a question part at the end, and we can dive into all kinds of things. This presentation is not going to be an hour long by any means. I really just wanted to make sure we had plenty of time at the end for questions. So I'm going to go ahead and just get straight to it. So today, our workshop overview, what we're going to go over is we're going to go over SMART goals. You guys may or may not have heard of SMART goals. A lot of people have heard the SMART goals acronym for their professional life. Really, SMART goals can be any kind of goals for your life. So what you learn today can definitely be taken into consideration for different aspects, but we're going to talk specifically about wellness SMART goals today. We're also going to be going over your starting points. We kind of covered this in your baseline. The basics were back at the beginning of this program. So probably 6 weeks ago, we've probably already forgotten all about that. So we're going to look at starting points. And then finding your why. That's very important, because when things start to get tough, that's when you need to go back to that why. Why are you doing this? Why have you set these goals? To remind you of the importance of them. And then our toolkit and accountability, which if you've been doing this holiday Hunger Games, then you have definitely seen some accountability in some ways, maybe a lot of accountability, too much, but hopefully it's all been good. But if you don't have accountability, ways that you can set yourself up for success by having the accountability from others as well as for yourself, setting up accountability with yourself. And then at the end, we'll talk about don't stress, reassess. We all have to reassess our goals a lot of times, and we get so bogged down with not being able to do something that we get off of the wagon completely instead of reassessing. So we'll talk about that at the very end for you guys as well, to come to a conclusion of this year, coming to a conclusion of also, this program. It's a great time to address all these things. So what is the goal? The goal is an object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim, or a desired result. So we're going to go straight into SMART goals. So if you've never heard of this acronym, here it is. It's specific. What do you want to accomplish specifically with these goals? Measurable. How will you know if you've reached it? Achievable or attainable. Also, is it in your power to achieve it? Realistic also kind of goes in that same spot. Can you realistically achieve it? And then T, timely. What is the time frame of that goal? Because a lot of times we get so specific, or we get so broad on our goals, that we don't have these little things to fine tune our goals. We get with I just want to lose weight. Okay, so then we go and put these different outlines of specifically what we can get that goal to accomplish for us in a great way. So I'll kind of talk about this. Again, we want to hit the physical, the mental, the spiritual, financial. Wellness is not just a physical goal of I want to lose weight. It's important. A lot of times we get so focused on the physical that we don't realize how important the other parts and components of wellness are in order for us to achieve that physical goal. So we'll kind of talk about that as well. And then occupational, obviously, these SMART goals are perfect for what you want to achieve in your career as well. But we'll move on to the next slide. So, all right. So before we get into the specifics of goals and making them more specific using our SMART goals, I want to kind of tune into this quote at the top, especially for this year. The quote is, remember that one small step in the right direction is far better than many steps moving away from your goals. It's really important this year because we are all work from home. Things have changed a lot in this year, and I think a lot of times we forget how powerful one small step one small break away from your computer or standing at your desk or whatever it is, how important that movement is. We get so locked into the old world of I need to make it to the gym and I need to hit the gym 5 times a week, that we get so focused on that we forget our work from home, our workouts from home, how important those are. Whether it was 30 minutes and we used to do an hour and a half in the gym, we forget how important that those small, tiny steps of movement really equate to our larger goals. So really focusing that small steps are needed in order to get to those milestones of goals that we have. So say that we want to reach 50 pounds, we want to lose 50 pounds or 30 pounds, okay? 30 pounds, even 10 pounds. We need smaller steps, the small steps that count to get us to those milestones. So say I want 5 pounds here, I want 10 pounds here. We get so focused on the bigger goal that we don't have the little steps that we need to get to that bigger step. So let's go into the different examples here that I have. So physical goal, I want to lose the weight. I've already told you guys that was one of the examples. Okay, how can we fine tune that physical goal? So we move it into, okay, more specific. I want to lose 30 pounds. All right, now we phase that into an even better goal of, I want to lose 30 pounds by, and then we put a time on it. So we make it timely, we make it realistic. So just to tell you kind of, we get into this whole weight losing mind frame, just to give you an idea of where you should be and how long it should take, healthy weight loss, just as a sidebar, you want to look at 1 pound to 1.5 pounds per week. So to make that realistic here, we would give ourselves about 30 weeks to accomplish this 30-pound goal. That's just an example for you of how to obtain this 30-pound weight loss goal. Because when we see that we lose larger amounts of weight at a very fast pace, we do a detox, we do whatever, it's not sustainable. So that's how we look at the timely effort of losing weight loss. So another physical goal, looking at the nutrition side of things, I want to eat healthier. Okay, a lot of people say that. All right, so we have to look at ourselves. If I was eating out a lot, like 5 times a week, okay, maybe I want to be more specific. I say, I want to eat out less. Okay, well, how can we make that even more specific and give it a lot more details onto it? We say, I want to make more homemade meals by meal prepping on Sundays. So that gives it even more timely, you know, with a Sunday saying as our beginning of our week, we're going to set up, you know, our meal plan for the rest of the week for our family, what we're going to do. Taking that's really how we're going to get to that bigger physical goal of I want to eat healthier. We have all the specifics and the time frame that we're going to do for the physical goal. And like I said, mental, emotional, it's very important that we also look at our wellness from a bigger spectrum of not just the physical side, but the mental, emotional, and spiritual sides. Financial as well is in there because that also helps us. But for a mental, emotional goal of I want to be less stressed. Okay, we would all love to be a little less stressed. Okay, well, how can we do that? I also want to be happier. Okay, maybe that looks at I want to start a journal to reflect on how I'm feeling. Or more specifically for this year, okay, I want to be less stressed. All right, I'm going to look at my Outlook calendar. I'm going to go in, I'm going to take breaks. I'm going to block out my days for a lunch break. I'm going to block out my day for a afternoon walk, 15 minutes even. Okay, those are ways that you could work on your physical health as well as your mental and emotional. So blocking out that time in your Outlook calendar, having backup places also. We know that a lot of times meetings get scheduled on top of something or whatnot. Every week is going to be different, so you've got to be flexible. Look at what's coming in your week. Use your calendar to help you through that, to navigate. Know that some weeks are going to be a little crazier than others. Take it 1 week at a time. So I highly suggest you use your Sundays to also plan out those breaks, okay? And then look at being even more specific, okay? Well, I want to start a journal to reflect on how I feel. I want to keep a gratitude journal that reminds me of the things that are great in my life. That's another thing that we can really start our day with is a gratitude journal. You don't even have to write it down. Start your day with 2 things that you're grateful for that day. it reframes our mind to gratitude, to positivity, and then it carries on throughout the day. Helping you reflect your feelings also is a great way to just offload the stress, the emotions that you have. And those are just some ways to look at the mental and emotional part of goals too. So keep that in mind as we go in through this workshop of different ways that you can set goals. So we're going to pause now. I want you to do 3 health wellness goals on your paper. So we're going to pause for just a second here, give you some time. I'm actually going to set mine right now as well. So I want you to work on just 3. Obviously, you can do more than 3. And I want you to take in consideration where you are now. It's very important to see where you are now as well. You don't want to make a goal that is, I want to do workouts 5 times a week when you've been doing 1 or none at all. You want to meet you where you are now. That can be a larger goal. You want to do 5. So using those SMART goal acronyms, you want to do 5 by 6, or you want to do 5 in 12 weeks time. Okay, well, 6 weeks, let's look at half that time. Using our time, our T, I want to do 3 times a week to start off because I've been doing 1 a week. Okay, so I look at 6 weeks, I want to have accomplished at least 3 times of exercise, 3 times a week up into 6 weeks. Then after 6 weeks, I want to look at 12 weeks. I want to go from week 6 to week 12, 5 times a week. Okay, you've got to meet yourself where you are, or else people get so flustered by this bigger goal that they've set because they're not meeting themselves. They're not being realistic with the R of setting those milestones to get to the bigger picture. We have to meet ourselves where we are. We have to, we get so carried away with getting where we want to be and where we used to be maybe a year or a year and a half or 2 years ago. We don't realize where we're at right now, right? It's very different this year. And we have to meet ourselves where 2020 kind of has us, right? With the dynamics of our families, with the dynamics of work looking very different this year. You have to meet those. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead. Let's focus 3 goals. And remember, they don't have to be just physical. Do we want them to be spiritual or mental, emotional? Take that time now. And this can just be on a piece of paper. Nothing fancy. So as you guys are still writing these out, figuring them out, remember, take into consideration the SMART goals. Be specific. Don't just say, I want to do cardio once a week. Okay, well, I want to do cardio for 30 minutes, 4 times a week. All right, if I'm not even close to that, all right, I have a phase 1. Phase 1 looks like 2 times of cardio a week for 30-minute bouts. Okay, for 4 weeks. Once I've completed a month, I want to knock that up to this. Be specific, realistic. Make sure it's attainable, meeting yourself where you are. Does anyone want to share any of their goals that they have set? So I'll share one of mine. Mine is to meditate. So you guys know we have access to Headspace. Headspace has been a phenomenal app to use on your journey to meditation, prayer, mindfulness, whatever it is for you. And they have a great, if you haven't signed up for that, I highly encourage it. It is free, and it is free until September 2021, I believe. So using that app has been very helpful for times that I really just needed to unplug. I found that by doing it, I'll do it sometimes in the morning and at night because I have been working on meditation for quite a while. So I'm meeting myself where I am. and I want to try to set my goal of meditating once a day, and continue on that journey. Now, I've been meditating for a while, and but there are times where I'll go off track for a while. So I'm going to my goal is to not just meditate once a day every week. It's going to be the 5 minutes. So Headspace has a 5, I think a 5, 10, 15, I know it has 20, but there are 5-minute increments that you can do when you're very first starting off. So if you also share the want to have a regular meditation practice, start small. Start with the 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day, whatever is the smallest one available. Start there and do it once a week, and then kind of, get more and more each week, or each day into a week. Before you know it, you'll create a habit of it. But starting small and then building up, meeting you where you are. Okay, so meditating once a week would not be something that I can meet myself with, because I've already kind of progressed through that. So really look at where you are now, and you can always come back again and reassess, make them harder, make it a little less. We'll talk about that at the end. So putting the specifics on it, also having those goals that you write down, putting them at your desk space to remind you, or putting them on your fridge like you would something you gave your mom to be proud of, to be focused on, or your mirror in your bathroom is also another place. Be constantly reminded, because things that we're aware of and that are in our sight, we're going to be continually working on those things, being aware of them, instead of something we write down, this resolution I wrote down, and then I don't know where I put it, So being constantly aware of it. If you like vision boards are another great thing that you can create if you'd like to do a project with your kids or your other family members. Be a great thing to do, especially in this year. It's very encouraging, so I highly suggest that as well. So 66 days to create a habit, that's what it takes. So try to stay encouraged. Remember, things don't happen overnight. You've got to really work on it. You've got to meet yourself where you are. Start with those small goals, again, to get to the larger ones. Stick with it. Take 1 week at a time, each day at a time. And I think a lot of people get so overwhelmed when they're not hitting their goals, whether it was in this program or just in life in general, that we don't think that we're perfect, so we stop. Or we set our goals too high that we can't reach them, we stop. Instead of building ourselves up on those smaller goals, that we accomplish those 2 walks a week, that we're like, oh, I got this. You have that positive building up to, now I got 5 walks a week, instead of, this goal is so far away, I can't reach it, I'm just not going to do it. You've got to take it 1 day, 1 week at a time. Every week you have the opportunity to turn things around. Every new Sunday, Monday is a new opportunity to say, I'm getting on it this week. A lot of times we get so discouraged that we can't be perfect that we just throw the towel in completely. So keep that in mind. Give yourself grace for those bad weeks or those times that are out of control. I know several people right now is very busy. The next 2 weeks are super busy to close out this year. And a lot of other people are like, I'm checked out. It's the holidays. So everyone is different. We all have our busy seasons, but we've got to plan ahead, focus on what we have in sight, our goals that we have in sight, and then modify as we need. Maybe every week doesn't look the same. The intensity doesn't look the same, but keep yourself motivated by rechecking in each week to give yourself grace for the bad weeks and get refocused on the next week. Okay. And don't think you have to be perfect. We are human after all. So please keep that in mind. All right. Our next one, talking about planning here. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So starting points. You've got to have an action plan for these goals, okay? Starting points, avoid the scale. I know this is very hard for some people to do because they want to check in every single day. They do certain things to make sure they're lighter at their check-in time or whatnot. If you do want to have a scale, take it in a weekly check-in. Do not do it every single day. There are so many things that affect our weight that and fluctuations throughout the day. hormones, the things that we eat, our bowel movements, our hydration levels, things like that. It's just not right to be checking in every single day. And it actually could have a mental effect on you as well. And it might keep you from losing weight. So keep that in mind. Use belt notches, dress sizes, pant sizes, fitting into old clothes. I'll always ask someone if they have a pair of pants they'd like to fit in comfortably, that they'll keep in their closet just to have. And then it's the most amazing victory when they can fit in those again. And then take measurements. I would say if you're going to take measurements, kind of honing back in on the baselines workshop that we did, taking your right measurements, right arm, waist, hip, and thigh all on the right side. That's a way that you can also measure your starting points, as well as measuring in centimeters as opposed to inches. That way you can see the improvements a lot better. Take pictures. If you're a picture person and you want to have a comparison, take pictures, but don't take them often because we can get a little obsessed with it, or feel defeated because we don't see change. It takes a while to see some changes. 6 weeks to 12 weeks, really 12 weeks altogether when it comes to taking pictures. You'll see a lot of challenges are for 12 weeks. So keep that in mind, and small changes. Start small, like I said, in order to take on those larger goals. You've got to have those milestones, those steps, in order to get to the larger goals so that you don't feel overwhelmed and that you're building into success. So again, also, failing to plan is planning to fail. Looking at your Outlook calendar, we are so focused on what's on our Outlook calendar. Some people, the Outlook calendar, we don't want to mess with. It's for work purposes only. Totally cool. But have it in your phone, have it in your personal planner, have it on a wall. I have a old school calendar that's hanging up on my wall at home, and it is all for my workouts. For me, a big challenge is I'm a very big strength person and not so much cardio. So I have to stay accountable to myself doing cardio by writing it down, making sure that I look at the week. Either I plan it ahead of time, which that doesn't really work for me. I like to go as is, but some people are planners. So it might be better for you to go ahead and write out the week. Compare your Outlook calendar to the free time that you have. Go ahead and write it down. Okay, Monday, I'm going to work out at, in the morning because that's the best time. I don't have meetings starting until 10. Okay, Tuesday, I've got morning meetings, so I'm going to look at a lunch break. Wednesday, not a good day at all. I'm going to get it in after everything is done at work. Know what works best for you. Know how you are. I know that if I'm not going to get it in earlier in the day, I try to leave it at the end of the day. It's not happening. So it either has to happen in the morning or it has to happen at lunchtime. I have to make those times. So I just know yourself when you do plan these things. Just like if I don't meal prep on Sunday, good luck for the rest of the week because I'm just going to grab whatever. I've got a busy week. I've got the kids are here, they're, whatever activities you've got to plan. All right, so whatever way is best for your planning methods, using your Outlook calendar, setting in times for breaks. Remember, those are important too right now, is taking breaks, offloading, making a meeting, a walking meeting instead, just to get steps in. Very important. Don't discredit those small little things, like a 10,000 step challenge. Right now, that is very hard to accomplish every day working from home. So set those goals as well. All right, focus on your why. Like I said earlier, when things get tough and we have to remind ourselves, okay, why am I doing this? Why did I set that meditation / prayer once a week kind of goal for me? Because I know that if I don't do that, then I am going to be so stressed out. I'm not going to be in a good mental space so that I can really be there for the meetings that I have at work, be there for my family, be there for my friends. I want to know that I'm working on myself, building myself so that I can give to others. So that's the importance of my meditation and prayer every week. I want to be less reactive. I don't want to be honing into anger. I want to be very calm and, not reactive, like I said. So that's another reason why my meditation is important. Go to your focal point. Ask yourself, why are you doing it? It can be so easy to go astray and to forget and to whatnot, remember, is it for your family? Is it for your kids? Do you want to be there? Do you want to have quality of life? In the end, everything that you do today, everything that you've done in the past is leading you to your future. Whether that is one of high cholesterol or heart disease or whatever, you have to look at your why. Do I really want to get this blood pressure down? Do I want to get off this type 2 diabetes medication that I'm taking? Is it a health thing? Or is it mental stress relief, like I just said? Confidence boost. Do I want to feel good in my clothes? Do I want to feel confident of who I am? Quality of life, like I said, building blocks for your future. Also, general well-being. I want to be balanced. I want to be, someone who can physically be active, but also mentally and spiritually whole as well. So remember that why, because you're going to get into those tough spots and you're going to have to come back to, okay, why am I doing this? And you're going to have to remind yourself. All right, so exercise recommendations, looking at the physical side of goals, if you've set some of those, what are the exercise recommendations? So for cardiovascular, we recommend, and by we, I say the American College of Sports Medicine, ACSM, they suggest doing a minimum of 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. That's walking, basketball, tennis, dancing, whatever. And then more vigorous intensity, something that's like jogging, running, cycling, swimming, something a little higher intensity, 20 minutes, 3 times per week. And then they suggest also strength, so performing resistance training activities for 2 times a week, really working on every muscle group. We don't want to just focus on our glutes and our arms or whatever it is specific to you. You want to get the balance of all muscle groups. So that's very important. So say that you are just starting out. This may be very daunting to you, it's just a little too much. So I would start very small. Work on the cardiovascular health, looking at 2 or 3 times a week of going for a walk, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and then progressing, as you go and trying to get these other recommendations of strength, but really focusing on one thing at a time. Also getting in flexibility, recovery is very important as well, but the top priority is that cardiovascular health and strength as well, getting a balance of that. So again, 3 to 5 times a week of 30 minutes or more of cardiovascular. If you're not sure what cardiovascular, that's aerobic exercise, getting your heart rate up. And then also 2 to 3 times of strength. Okay. Of course, you can do more, but you do want to make sure you're balanced with both the cardio and strength, as well as recovery like yoga and stretching. Okay. Tools and resources. So we're going to be talking about this into January. I don't want to spoil the program or anything like that, but we will be talking about tech, fitness and tech in the next program that we have. But tools and resources, you've got us, you've got Cox Fitness Centers who are now extending beyond Atlanta. We're here covering you guys nationwide with our programs that we have every week, keeping you accountable with that. We make it fun. I like to think we make it kind of like a game, but prioritize every day, make those routines. Those will help, but some things to really use to do that, like I said, your Outlook calendar, group fitness classes, the virtual classes that we offer, also gym access when we do get back to being open, or your gym that you have that may be open right now, using that. That might not be free, but we are free here in the Cox campuses in Atlanta, using your personal coaching sessions. So if you're looking to get started and you need a little more in depth, you have access to myself, my staff here, as well as the other staff, to do a free coaching session. We go through and give you your baselines. We walk you through goal setting specifically for you. So if you need some help with that, please reach out to me after this presentation. We can go into that. We do have personal trainers. That is an extra cost. Registered dietitians, just like Alyssa, who you may have saw from the the Navigating Nutrition While Working Remotely seminar. She's there to really go into depth with with your nutrition side of things. And then you've got workout apps. You've got MyFitnessPal, you've got Nike, Fitness Blender, Beachbody, all kinds of different things that you can use. There's so much free stuff out there. So if you need help finding something like that, OpenFit is another thing that the company has paid for that you can use. Start using that as well. There's so many things that you have right at the palm of your hand with this day and age with tech that you can use for tools and resources. So accountability, get your family involved with healthy dinner nights, with walks, with nightly, whatever it is. Get your body, your family moving, get your body moving together, make it a game night, whatever. I know it's cold now, so it is harder to get out there and get moving, but find other ways that you can do that. Instead of sitting around the TV, it's so easy to just veg out at the end of our nights. And sometimes we do like to get together with our family, see other ways that you can make them healthy. Maybe work on creating a healthy dinner together. That would be really cool. Or healthy baking or whatever it is that you'd like to try. And then get your friends and coworkers to keep you accountable. That's what we're all about, is creating programs for you guys to use your coworkers as teammates and accountability partners. But maybe it's a friend that you have across the nation or down the street, a neighbor. Get people to keep you accountable by encouraging others to move with you or to focus on goals that you have. Those fitness classes, like I said, if you'd like our weekly schedule, we can send that to you if you're not already aware of it, or if you need the link. Those are free classes that we offer every single week online. And they will be changing. Just another spoiler alert. In January, we will be keeping a lot of the same classes, but we're going to add some 15-minute express classes in there, as well as some Get Fit Where You Sit, some workouts that you can do right from your desk. And you don't even have to change or get sweaty for. So stay tuned for that. That's coming in the new year. And then let's really talk about setbacks, the attack of the setbacks. Like I said, reassessing is very important. I'd like you to look at some setbacks. So name some setbacks that you've seen before that keep you from reaching goals. So just write those down now. A couple of things that have kept you from reaching goals. I'm going to say work schedule. How many of you guys are writing that down right now? Work schedule. Especially this year. It has been quite the thing to navigate, I know, across the board. Can you think of some others? Write those down. So it's not a question of will we get a setback? It's when will we have a setback, right? They're going to come at us at all times from all areas. We thought it was just work. Oh, no, it's family now. It's this and that, you know. So those setbacks are going to come. So what are we going to do when they come? Give yourself 6 weeks before checking in with yourself with your goals. Remember, like I said, have them posted. Give yourself 6 weeks. If you are not obtaining those goals, getting to those goals, okay, maybe we need to refocus. So we'll remeasure, evaluate where you are. Were our goals too large to accomplish? Were they meeting the schedule that's been thrown at us now? Maybe we need to readjust that. What I've seen a lot in this program is people having to readjust their mindset on being active. I mean, we are work from home. So now sometimes our workout times have become just our taking a break, stepping away from our computer, life balance with work-life balance, you know, taking 30 minutes, blocking it out, doing a class, doing stretches. Maybe I need to do stretches now